Hello, hi. Today I am finally sitting down to record a video talking about the eyeshadow palettes that I picked up from YesStyle over the end of the holidays. I'm going to go into some details about the ordering process and some things that I wish that I had known before the order, and then I'm going to do some review and detailed swatches on each of the palettes. I'd wish that I'd known is that they are always on sale. If you see, like I saw, that there's like a countdown that their sale is about to end, there's going to be another sale right afterwards. So don't feel pressure to buy something just because it's on sale and that sale is about to end. The second thing that I wish that I had known, their shipping is going to be more than one shipment, and that shipment is going to come from multiple companies. At least that's what happened with me, and from what I've heard, that's happened with a lot of other people. If you order more than one thing, there's a good chance it will ship separately, which, as somebody who is very well aware of the carbon cost of shipping, especially international shipping, I try to only do carbon neutral shipping when I can. That really upset me. There's also not a lot of choice for your shipping. I'm in Canada, and with my order, I could not select a shipping company or any other specific shipping things other than the free shipping that they offered. Third, their customer service is non existent. My stuff was said to be sent on, I believe it was like January 7th, a little over a week after that day had passed, and I hadn't received any updates. I attempted to contact them, and it took about 4 or 5 days for them to send me back a canned reply that basically was the equivalent of shut up and wait. Um, so that wasn't great. I did get my shipment after that a couple days later, so I didn't go any further with the customer service. But yeah, it was not great. And fourth, I found out when I was checking out how incredibly easy it is to become a affiliate with YesStyle. And after doing some research, it seems like C Beauty Mall, Look Fantastic, they have the same issue. And the concern with that is that bots and people who just kind of are a little scammy and who will, join any affiliate marketing program they can find, they may be the ones you're seeing reviews from. So you want to really make sure when you're looking for reviews of the products on these sites that it's from somebody who actually knows what they're talking about, somebody who is well versed in, whether it's C Beauty or K Beauty or whatever type of products you're looking at, just somebody who knows what they're talking about, who really enjoys the products and isn't just somebody who is trying to get you to buy something with their affiliate code. Anyways, that's it for the experience that I had and the things that I wish I had known. Let's get on to looking at some beautiful eyeshadows. So first up is the Joocyee Gray Tarot palette from the new Nude collection. This is part of a collection that has, I believe, 5 other quads with various different undertones that all have kind of a neutral nudes color story to them. It has a creamy off-white matte, a grayed rose, and a mid-tone brown with a red undertone, as well as a beautiful silver with a brown base. The mattes have a soft, powdery texture, but they blend beautifully and can be built up quite a fair bit. And the shimmer has a pretty balanced, creamy texture, although it is a little bit gritty. It definitely can be built up to something quite opaque or sheared out to something that's more of a sparkly topper. I didn't get to wear this for very long, but within the couple hours that I wore it, I didn't see any evidence of creasing. And even though there was a bit of grittiness to the texture, it wasn't uncomfortable to take off my eyes and didn't cause any irritation. Next up, I got the Girlcult Gold Rush eyeshadow palettes. These have beautiful packaging. It just is so elegant. It's made out of this like very hard plastic. And this one is 55, which has this gorgeous neutral glam color story and this beautiful embossing. I had to get a video of this before I swatched it because it's so elegant and pretty. They really nail packaging, this brand. It has 3 mattes, a light brown, a mid-tone brown, and a black, as well as a gorgeous silver shimmer. The mattes are definitely more pigmented than the previous brand, They do feel a tiny bit more substantial as well. However, they're still very soft and they blend out beautifully. The shimmer is more of a true metallic shimmer formula, and it wore quite well. It doesn't need a lot of product to be built up, and I found if I wore too much of the product, it did start to look a little bit textured. This is a pretty thin layer here, and you can see you get quite a lot of opacity from it. It's a true gray silver as well. You don't have like the last one where you had that brown base and then the silver shimmer on top. This has that true metallic gray, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. Next is the second quad in the Gold Rush series. This is number 56, and this one is an all shimmer palette. There are a couple different formulas in this palette. I think really they're probably each a different formula, but some are more similar than others. You have multi-chromes, you have sparkly shimmers, you have a holochrome even. The first shimmer is a sparkly champagne with a slight pink to blue flip. It's definitely not something you notice in every single light, but I think it makes it a little bit more of an interesting shadow. The formula on this one is pretty balanced. You can definitely build it up or sheer it out, and it wears pretty good either way. The next shadow is a multichrome with a pink base that shifts gold, green, and turquoise. And this is one of those really unpleasant, flaky, goopy formulas. So I'm not too impressed with this shadow. I haven't tried to press out all of the excess binder yet. Maybe that will help. But yeah, this isn't my favorite. To be fair, I have been warned that this is a pretty common formula in some C Beauty brands. So, fair warning to anyone who's looking at possibly getting some C Beauty eyeshadows, definitely check reviews out because these can be pretty common. The third shadow in the palette is this beautiful black-based multichrome with a red, orange, gold lime shift. The formula here is quite nice. It wore very well. I didn't have any creasing problems. So this is definitely a star in this palette. Quick note before I continue, my camera wound up dying on me and I lost the settings that I was using. So if it looks a little bit different, yeah, sorry about that. And lastly is a holochrome. This shifts from a red, orange, and gold. It's kind of hard to tell the base. I believe it's a black base, and it has a small holochrome in it. I'm not a huge fan of holochromes, but when it comes to the ones that I'm willing to work with, it's this kind of one. The holochrome is only really noticeable when you have a very bright direct light on it. Otherwise, it just kind of looks a bit gray, and I do enjoy a gray red kind of color, so it's all right. It's not my favorite. Formula wise, this is pretty good. The hollow particles aren't too gritty or anything like that, and it wears pretty well. Now on to the Cheeryep palettes. This is the first one. It's called Monologue, and it has a spicy, neutral olive green color story. The formulas here are really nice. It's definitely that drier, more accessible formula, but you can definitely build it up to a fair amount of opacity, and the shimmers are nice and balanced. Starting off with the swatches, we have a creamy beige matte, a contour gray, more of a olivey toned contour gray, and a deep brown with a slight olive undertone. Then there's a mid-tone olive brown, a light olive brown, a gunmetal shimmer, and a brown shimmer, followed by a high impact gold with a green flip, a satin olive brown shimmer, a deep olive, and a light olive matte. And lastly, we have a deep camo green matte, a deep olive shimmer, a sparkly white topper, and a deep blackened green satin. Next, I got the Steal Your Heart palette. I've also seen this written as Stealing Hearts and Steal Heart. I assume it's just kind of a translation thing, and all of those are equal names. This one is a smoky pink neutrals palette. I've seen a lot of people compare this to the Huda Beauty Rose Quartz palette, which was my favorite palette for a very long time, so I'm excited to have something similar with some updated formulas. The formulas here are pretty much the same as in the previous one, maybe a little bit more pigmented, a little bit more blendable, just a little bit more high quality overall, but they're pretty similar. Starting off the swatches, we have a sparkly white silver, a dove gray matte, a soft baby pink matte, and a sparkly sequin matte black. Next is a silver metallic, a mid-tone soft rose, a light beige pink, and a mid-tone gray brown. Then there's my favorite shade in the palette. This is a silver-based duochrome with a pink to gold shift, followed by a contour gray matte, a cool light baby pink, and a plum brown. And lastly is a cool tone gold shimmer, a very light gold beige, a mid-tone brown gray, and a deep brown. Next, I have the very popular Fleeting Life palette. This is a collab with the incredibly beautiful, talented, and really nice Freya. She is on Instagram, and I will include her handle in the description if you don't follow her. This palette has a beautiful color story. It's that desaturated gray tones that I love so much, as well as some beautiful pops of color. The formula for the mattes here is pretty much the same as the other ones, but when it comes to the shimmers, they're a lot more flaky, and there are some new types of formulas in here, including holochromes. Thankfully, the holochromes aren't very strong, and most of the time they just look like beautiful desaturated shadows and not a holochrome. Starting off the swatches is a light cool gray, a mid-tone gray, a gunmetal with a pink to blue shift, and a deep brown. Then there's a mid-tone beige, a white silver with a pink to blue shift, a brown-based multichrome that shifts from red, orange, gold, and lime, and a red satin. Then there's a warm pearl shimmer with a slight pink to gold shift, a deep plum brown, a periwinkle based multichrome with a peach, orange, gold, lime, and green shift. This one is also very flaky, and a mid-tone rosy brown. Then there is a deep matte gray, a magenta to pink to red to orange to gold holochrome with a small hollow particles, a deep brown, and a black matte. The last palette that I picked up from them is the Red Camelia palette. This has a coral red color story, not too warm, not too cool, just perfect for everyday kind of pinky red looks, which are some of my favorites. The formulas here are pretty consistent with the other ones, just a nice blendable powdery matte with a decent level of pigmentation and some nice balanced shimmers. First up for the swatches is a creamy ivory shimmer, and then a creamy white matte, a light peach, and a light warm brown matte. Then there's a cream shimmer with a pink, peach, and gold shift, a very light coral matte, a very light tan matte, and a raw sienna matte. After that is a sparkly ivory with a pink shift, a mid-tone coral matte, an orangey tan matte, and a warm creamy shimmer. And lastly, there's a soft chartreuse shimmer, a mid-tone warm brown, a soft red, and a deep brown matte. And that is it. I have really been enjoying playing with these the few days that I've had them. There definitely are a few shades that I'm not thrilled about, especially that really putty-like one in the Girlcult quad, but the rest of the shades I think are really pretty, and for the price point, I think it was all worth it. Thank you so much for watching and for putting up with the technical difficulties. I did just kind of do this new filming setup. I'm still getting used to it, still figuring it all out, so hopefully my future videos will look really nice. Again, thank you for watching and let me know in the comments, have you tried any C Beauty brands? Do you have any C Beauty eyeshadows that you think I should try? I would love to see some more cool tones, maybe some blues and purples. Thank you again and bye!